Hi guys, it's me. I just wanted to jump on and say hello to everyone and hope everyone is doing wonderful, healthy, happy, joyful, blessed. I am. But I wanted to jump on because I know I made, I think it was like my third video, and I had discussed a lot of pros and cons here living in Japan. And there were some things I forgot to touch base on. So I'm going to go ahead and get right back into it, and I hope you enjoy. So the first thing are the Japanese police. The Japanese police don't carry guns. They only carry batons. That's just how peaceful it is. They only carry batons. And if you're driving and there is a wagon behind you and you see their lights, it does not mean for you to pull over. That's what I did when I first started driving. But my friend was just like, no, you don't need to pull over. They're just letting you know that they're in the neighborhood, and if anyone needs assistance, they're just letting you know that they're available, which was mind-blowing to me because I'm thinking I did something wrong. And then another thing I wanted to touch base on is credit. There is no credit system here. So basically, if whatever you want and you know you can afford it, you can purchase it. I know when I got here, of course I stayed in the hotel. I had to stay in the hotel for 30 days because their process is completely different as far as getting housing. But I had to stay in a hotel for 30 days before I was able to move into my housing. I paid cash for my car, so of course I didn't need a social security number, but all I did was went out and I looked at 4 places. The place that I'm in, I said, yes, I want this. And they said, okay. They took my basic information, and then housing on base got in contact with them. They got all my paperwork together, and I just went into the office to sign my paperwork. That was it. And put my deposit down, and I got the keys. Another thing is I was talking to one of my Japanese coworkers, and I was asking about the heating, because I did kind of touch base on the heating situation here, because I just did not like it. Like, I wanted to go back home because they only use propane and there's no natural gas. And my coworker was telling me that they have to purchase everything to have it brought in. There's no natural gas, and they basically have to buy all resources and have it brought in. So they kind of reserve everything, or try to reserve as much as they can. So, like, for example, on base, I know when I stayed in the hotel, I got here at the end of October, and I wasn't able to cut on my heat. So I'm always cold. Like, I'm always cold. It was 70 something degrees. So during the daytime, it would be great, but at night, the temperature would drop. So trying to adjust my heat, the heat's not coming on. It's only set on, the thermostat's only set on cool. So go to the desk, and the lady's like, oh, they haven't cut the heat on yet. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she said that the heat is only cut on from November to the end of March. So basically, they are able to control when you have access to heat and when you have access to AC, because there's no central air. It's only air conditioning. So that was another thing. And then another thing is base housing. Even on base, they control the temperature. Like, the people that live on base, like the active duty members and family members, even all of the facilities, from November to March, they have access to heat. But from the beginning of April, or the end of March, up until the beginning of November, they are able to use the AC because it starts getting a little bit nicer. I'm still using my heat because, like I said, I stay cold. It's been in the 70s, but I'll still cut my heat on for a little bit. Well, so that was that. And then another thing is, McDonald's. McDonald's is wonderful. I could buy a whole meal for like $5 or like 800 yen. It's like $5. However, if you want your extra tomato, your extra lettuce, your extra whatever, that's a no. They go like this. No. Like whatever the meal is, you don't get any extra, you don't get any less, you just get the meal and that's it. You don't have any options to add anything else. Another thing is, oh gosh, what was it? I mentioned the credit, the heat, the Japanese police. What was it? Oh my gosh. It wasn't anything major, but briefly, the driving. So because I'm government, I was allowed to get a special license for any civilians that are government employees and then active duty members and their families. There's a special license that allows us to be able to drive the Japanese streets and highways and byways. However, so back in the States, you know how usually only buses will stop at a railroad crossing. Everybody has to stop. Now, it's not in all cities because not all cities have trains, but I know, for example, Okinawa does not. So that's not even on their test. If they're stationed in Okinawa, they don't have to worry about any railroad crossings because there are no trains. But here in mainland, there are trains. So we have to stop. Everybody has to stop. No exception. Or else you will get fined, pulled over and fined. Was there anything else? Oh, the medical. Medical is like, the cost is amazing. And even though I have Blue Cross Blue Shield back home because my daughter is still on my insurance back home, so I still pay my insurance stateside. However, if you're seen here, they'll file your claim for you, but it's really no point because the services are so cheap. There's no point in filing the claim. Like, you could just pay out of pocket. I know my friend Kim and her husband, he came down with the flu, and then on top of that, there was some other infection. Amongst that, they found something on his lung, so they referred him to a specialist in Hiroshima, and he had an MRI, an X-ray first, and then an MRI for further testing to find out what this lump was on his lung. Turned out it wasn't anything major, thankfully for him. But after seeing doctor after doctor and then having to finally be referred to the specialist for that MRI and X-ray, he said his bill was $106. $106. Do you know how much an MRI is in the States? Do you know how much an MRI is in the States? It's ridiculous. But I think those were the last things that I think I needed to touch base on. If there's anything else, then of course I'll let you guys know. But other than that, it's been amazing. And there's not much more. I am going to venture out. It's a rainy day today, because I was going to go to this park by the beach, but it's kind of windy and it looks like it's going to rain, so I didn't want to get caught in any rain. So but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, just put a comment and I'll be sure to get back to you, and hopefully I will see you on my next video, and talk to you soon, guys. Thank you. Bye.